Hi, my name is Hafiz Zishan Shafiq. Today I am discussing about the equity and inclusion in early childhood education in Australia. This is my second assessment, and it is basically based on the research informed critical reflection. So, if I want to discuss here that about the equity and inclusion, so how we will gonna start it here like that. This is an important topic because it helps understand how teachers can give all education the same chances to learn and develop. I will talk about the equity and inclusion mean some problems we face in early childhood services in Australia, what we can do to make our work better. This presentation is based on the EYLF and NQS and other academic sources that talk about why it is important to give every child a fair and inclusive education. So if we want to discuss about the equity and inclusion in Australia one by one, so I will describe it like here. Equity means giving each child what they need to do well, not giving the same thing to everyone. Inclusion means all children feel accepted and respected, no matter their background, cultures, or abilities. These two ideas are very important in the early years learning framework and the national quality standard. When services use these ideas, all children can join fairly and feel they truly belong in their learning group. Australian Government Department of Education and Council of Australian, which is back in 2009. So if we want to discuss about the policies and framework about sporting inclusion, so in Australia it has a strong framework that's sport inclusion. The EYLF helps educator plan for every child's learning, while the NQS quality area 6 encourages strong connection with families. So the Disability and Discrimination Act in 1992 protects children with disabilities from unfair treatment as well. The inclusion sport program gives early childhood education who need it basically. These policies together aim to make education more fair and open for everyone, according to the Australian Government Department of Education and Training. So I want to mention some key challenges here and what are the risks here. Like first of all, I will discuss about the even with the strong policies here, there are still challenges. Some services is rural or low income areas do not have enough resources. Educators may sometimes have unconscious bias that affects how they treat children from different backgrounds basically. So in many cases staff need more training to understand inclusive practice properly. These risks can lead to exclusion and poor expertise for children, which go against the EYLF and NQS. So it is really important to train the teachers and to train the children as well. You need to keep it in mind. You need to keep it in mind that you need to focus EYLF and NQS, which is very important here. So if I want to discuss here with the connection with the EYLF, so the EYLF basically guides educators to see so set basically they set the high expectation for all children and provide equal opportunities. It asks us to challenge unfair practices and to become culturally competent. Inclusion basically help like this way EYLF in outcomes, which help children build a strong sense of identity, or what they can say belongings. When children see their culture and abilities respected, they feel confident to learn and take part in different activities, which is very important to engage in the activities. So, if we want to discuss about the risk and links to the NQS, so the national quality standard connected closely to inclusion. In quality area one, educator must plan program that meet each child's need. Quality area six, which is encourages building strong partnership with families. However, risk occurs when services don't communicate effectively with diverse families or ignore their cultural expectations. If families excluded, the quality of education suffers, and children may lose their interest and their connection with the learning and with the educators and with other staffs as well. So, what are inclusive pedagogical approaches? So, we need to main focus on inclusive in pedagogy means using teaching methods and what strategies you want to use to learn them, to teach them. The universal design for learning help educator plan lesson the work for all learners. So, differentiated instruction allows teacher to adjust activities based on the ability and their interest. Culturally responsive teaching helps every child see their identity represented in learning. So reflective teaching help us look at our own attitude, what we are teaching, and what our practices are helping to the children to learn from us. So it is very important to see how we are acting and how we are reacting on those activities as well. So, if we want to go to the strategies to reduce the inequity, there are several ways to reduce the inequity. In EC professional training helps educate, understand, and use inclusive practices. Leaders play a key role by creating supportive environments and promoting reflection. And family engagement is very important, as you know that they support their children, and we need to talk with them as well. So finally, teamwork among the educators build strong and consistent inclusion practice helps them to reduce the inequity. If we want to discuss about the role of education leaders here, I will discuss here like the education leader are central central in being the inclusive culture. They basically guide their teams basically to understand policies like the EYLF and NQS and how they can help us in this specific task. Leaders also support reflection, professionalism, discussion, so educator can share ideas and challenges. When leaders model inclusive behavior, staff feel encouraged to do the same. Strong leadership can also means advocating for fair funding and resources to maintain the equity, which is very important. The major role of education leader is very important because they act as a room leader in the specific kindi or in the toddler department. If we want to discuss about the personal and professional reflection, so I will discuss here reflecting on my own role as educator. I believe inclusion is both moral and professional duty. It requires me to think about my action and decision every day. Working with colleagues and families help me understand a different perspective. Reflection help me identify bias and make better choices. Continuous learning also help me to communicate with teachers and the staff and families as well. It is really important to continuously improve yourself so that you can effectively work on the next day. So if I want to discuss about here that the conclusion to sum up, the equity and inclusion are very important for good early childhood education in Australia. Every child, no matter their background, ability, or culture, should feel safe, supported, and valued in their learning space. Policies like the Early Years Learning Framework and the National Quality Standard give strong guidance to help teachers create respectful and inclusive environment in the centers. These policies support fairness, respect for differences, and equal chances for all children. But success depends on how teachers and leaders use these ideas. So, in daily work, this means being open to new ideas, sharing new ideas, learning from different new ideas, and changing your strategy and technique with the children. And we must keep learning, thinking about our work as well, and working together a community to make early childhood education very fair and very welcoming for every child. This is how we can help children grow and reach their full potential level. So here are my some references which I used for this presentation, and I made this content according to this references. Thank you for your time here. We'll see you in the next assessment.